Hello, Keith Rucker here at VintageMachinery.org. Guys, today got another little project I'm doing for a viewer, trying to knock some more of these little quick items off of my list before I get back into some more in-depth detailed projects. And this one is for Stephen Malcolm, who lives up just outside the Atlanta area. He had contacted me a while back, wanted to know if I could make a part for him for a trolley. This is like a chain hoist or something would go along an I-beam, the little trolley that falls across there. He's modifying one that he's got, instead of straddling a single I-beam, kind of turning it around where it's going to go in between two I-beams. Don't know exactly the whole story there, but he's got it all figured out how he wants it to be. And basically, the little cross brace that goes between the trolley that everything kind of hangs on, he's needing a custom one made that's a little bit wider and made to his specifications. I got a little sketch here of what we want to do. Pretty straightforward project. We're just going to basically be turning the ends down on this and threading it over on the lathe. But thought I'd take you guys along for the ride. So let me show you what we got to do, and let's get in here and get going on it. So this is the original little cross piece that was on there, and what we got here is some 1 7/16 inch stock. He wants me to cut this to 32 inches long and basically turn the ends down on it. And we'll leave a section in the center 26 3/8 inch wide, and then the ends will be threaded to 1 3/8 6, which is what these little castle nuts will screw up on. So pretty straightforward. I think this is 36 inches long, so we're going to go cut this off on the bandsaw. I'm going to figure out the center, figure out how far in we need to thread on each end, go over to the lathe, and start turning. So let's get her done. I got my mark right there. We'll go ahead and clamp that down and saw her in two. All right. Very good. Got that cut. So again, 32 inches, half of 32 will be 16. So I'm going to mark the center of this. So the center is right there. And let's see, we want to basically leave a section here, 26 3/8 unturned. So half of 26 would be, what was that, 10, 13, and half of 3/8 would be 3/16, so 13 3/16, or excuse me, yeah, 3/16. Let me mark that. That's it. So basically I just need to turn these ends down to, what was that, 1 3/8 and thread them. So let's go over to the lathe and do that. Setting up over here on the lathe, and a couple of things to note. First off, the stock is too large to go up into the headstock, so we're going to have to let it stick out. I got the steady rest in here to kind of give it some support while we work on the end. I will put a center in here. We'll probably just leave the steady rest on here while we're turning this to give it a little bit of extra support, but we will put a center in there as well. So I think we're ready now to go ahead and face the end, put the center in, and then we'll turn that down and put some threads down there. All right, we're just going to face the end of this. Got it set pretty good on center there. And now put a center in it. And we'll come in with the center now. find my mark that I put on there, which is right there. All right, we are at an inch 4375. We're going to inch 375. So I've got about, what is that, 65 thousandths to take off of there. I'm just going to do about a 30 thousandths on the first cut. Get a good measurement here. All right, we're at 410, 1 inch 410 thousandths. Put that in my digital readout, 1.410, and we're going to 375. And I'm just going to dial that in. Right there. Confirm my measurement here. We are exactly on 375. All right, now got our threads. And I've got the lathe slowed down here to cut my threads, and I'm going to start by just putting me a nice lead-in angle up there on the front, using that 60-degree cutter so we have the same lead-in angle as the thread pitch. Stop in there. I'm going to touch off here. All right, let's do our first pass here. 6 threads per inch. We confirm that. We are on 6. Good deal. Some lube on here. And we will continue on. Doing about 20 thousandths on my depth of cut right now. As we go deeper, we will shallow it up as that chip gets wider. I'm going to go to 15 thou on the depth of cut now. Do another 15, then we'll go to 10. All right, I'm going to go to 10 now on the depth. Go until it just starts to get sharp on the top, and we'll check it for fit. I'm going to do one pass at 5 thou, and we'll start checking for fit. All right, let me give it a check. But the nut will tell the truth. Actually, that's pretty, it starts getting a little tight right there. This is making me wonder if this is not actually a metric thread. Well guys, I'm pretty sure that this is a metric nut, and my lathe, I do not have the ability to cut metric threads. So what I'm going to just do is we're just going to get a standard nut to fit on here. I've just ordered a couple from McMaster-Carr. I don't have any 1 3/8 nuts in the shop. That's kind of an oddball size, but I was able to order a couple. So we're going to put this job on hold until the nuts get here and we can start check these for fit. You guys will not notice the difference because it'll just be a second or two before we get to the next shop, even though it's going to be a day or two before the parts get here. Well, it's been a brief couple of seconds in the video, but in reality it's been a couple of days. I ordered a proper nut from McMaster-Carr, and it came, actually we went out of town to go visit family for Christmas, and it was here when I got home. So we're going to pick the video up kind of right where we left off. But there we go. There's a nut, and it's just nice. So I wasn't able to find one that was a castle nut, so we're going to actually mill some slots in this. This is a nice thick heavy nut that we should be able to turn into a castle nut with no problem at all. But anyway, we got this side done. I'm going to flip this thing around. We're going to do the exact same thing on the other side, and yeah, this should be a pretty simple job. So I'll just release the top of my steady rest here. Grab a chuck wrench, get the tailstock out of the way a little bit. So we can come out with this. There we go. Flip it around. Go back in here. It's actually sliding up into the headstock a little bit where I cut those threads. Just that little bit of a diameter was all it took to get it to go up in there a little bit farther. But anyway, we'll go right back here again. We'll tighten that back down. Should not need any resetting at all. And again, come in here, we'll machine that down and go. Actually, I think I want this to stick out just a little bit farther because I'm right there up against these set screws, and need to make sure I got plenty of room there. So let me bring it out just about a ½ inch or so. That'll give me plenty of clearance. All right, let's continue on. Start by facing again. Put a center back in there. Make sure I see that line that I got on there. There we go. I thought I could see it spinning around, but I wanted to make sure. Again, I'm going to do about 30 thousandths, and then we'll measure it and go from there. That should be it. Let's check our measurement here. Yeah, right on 375. So now, cut some threads. Let me get set up for that. All right, once again, we'll come in here and just chamfer that lead-in angle to the 60 degree that we'll be cutting the threads. There we go. First pass. We'll do another 20. 10, 20 right there. We'll just single point these out. Another 20 thousandths cut. I think we'll try one more 20, and then we'll go to 15. As we go deeper, that cut gets wider and harder to cut. So we feed in a little bit less. Another 15. Spring pass here. I'm not going to feed in at all, but it's still going to cut a little bit because I had a little bit of spring in there. And I think we're good. Let's give it a try. There we go. That is just fine. All right, so this is going to have the center part that will come up in here, and he will have some spacers on either side of this. And I think we're going to have to come up with some more spacers because we're going to a wider center there. It's got a little burr on it. Let me deburr that a little bit more. I didn't quite get that burr out of there on one side there. Let's see if that goes on now. Yeah, all right. So I think what I'm going to have, he's got a bunch of these little small spacers here, but there's not going to be enough. Let me go see if I got a piece of pipe that'll fit up over this that I can cut a couple of blanks out for, and we'll get this thing fit up. Well, guys, my quest to find some tubing to use as spacers in here turned out to be a bust. I didn't have anything in the shop big enough to fit up over this. The biggest pipe I had was 1 inch, and it needs to be really 1.5 inches to slide up over this. I went to Lowe's in town hoping to find some, and all they had was up to 1.25 inches, which was just a little bit too small to fit up over this. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I'm just not going to worry about it, and I'm going to let Steven worry about that when he gets this back. And he can either order some tubing from McMaster-Carr or someplace, or if he can find some 1.5 inch pipe at a plumbing supply place or something like that, he can just cut some pieces in here. But the idea here is you put all these spacers in. These little small ones here are so you can just stack them in to whatever size, you know, to get the right spacing between the two pieces. But again, because we're going to a wider spacing than what this was originally intended for, we don't have enough. The next step would be to put the hangers on the end, and these also need to be just bored out just a little bit larger to fit up onto this right here. So I think that's the next thing I'm going to do is take these over to my radial drill, and I've got a big drill bit that we can just basically, this is basically just a stamped hole, and it is right almost exactly what we need, but it's just a little bit tight. So I'm just going to drill that out ever so slightly and get those where they'll slide up over this, and I think we'll be good there. So let me go get set up and do that. All right, we are over here at the radial drill, and we're going to just enlarge that hole ever so slightly. I've got a drill bit in here. I can't remember what size it is, but it's just a little bit bigger than what we need here. I'm going to have to lower down my whole top. All right, I think we can get it there. And like I said, it's not going to need a lot to open that up. All right, guys, I was at 1" and 29/32, or 29/64 rather, and I'm going up to 15/32, which is just a little bit bigger. That other one just wasn't quite clear, so let's see how this one does. Whoop. All right, let's you go try this one, and then we'll drill the other one out. All right, that fit, so we'll go ahead and put the other one in here. I just got some spacers up under the bottom to kind of hold that nice and parallel across there, and we'll do this one. It's just barely shaving a little bit in there, but it's enough to make a difference. Let's see if I can get it out without it catching and pulling it out. There we go. I think we got that done. All right, we've got this kind of mocked up where you can kind of see how it's going to go. Obviously, there's going to be some pipe spacers in here to make all that nice and rigid. We'll tighten the nuts up on the end. That should tighten everything up. And basically, these will be running on the inside. There'll be 2 I-beams. These will be running in between them. And I know somebody's going to say, well, that's too long of a span. You're going to be, exceeding the capacity. This trolley was originally rated for 4,000 pounds, 2,000 pounds. He told me he's derating it to take into account that. And guys, I'm not an engineer. I'm not going to question him. This is what he asked me to do. This is what I'm doing. I think it'll be fine for what he's going to be doing, but I know some of you guys out there will probably disagree. But that's, sometimes I'm like I said, I'm just doing what he asked me to do here. So up next, I need to make my castle nuts from the new nuts and drill a hole in the end of these for the cotter pin to go in, and I think we'll be fine. Guys, I'm just finding the center of this. I'm cheating. I've just got my end mill in there, and this hasn't got to be super precision, so I'm just kind of bringing it up to that outside edge until it just barely touches right there. I did that on both sides. I zeroed out my digital readout. I'll just use my half function now and dial that to the center. That should be center there. Now I want to make these a 1/2 inch deep. I'm just going to drop that down until it just touches. And again, this doesn't have to be precise. And I'm going to raise up my knee a 1/2 inch. 500 thousandths. Right there. Got my table locked down. And we're just going to drill right through there. Hopefully this can take that all in one pass. I think it'll be fine. We'll go all the way through. Okay, we'll stop here, clean some chips out, we'll loosen up our nut. I'm going to turn it, part of a turn there. I zeroed out my end down here by just putting a stop on the end and just running it up against it. So that should get me going right back through the same area again. There we go. more turn. Get all those chips out of there. Here we go. Again, we'll just butt that up against the edge. And here we go. One castle nut. Do the same thing to the other one. Our castle nuts are done. We can put these on the ends down here. I'm not sure exactly how long this needs to be, so I don't know exactly where I need to drill that hole in there for the cotter pin. So again, I think I'm just going to leave that. That's a fairly simple thing. He can do that with a hand drill or a drill press, whatever, and get that where it needs to be for his final setup. But I think he'll be ready to go. There we go. And there we go. One more project knocked off the list. I'll let Stephen know I got this ready for him to pick up. He was going to be, I think, back down here in about a week or so in this area and could pick it up then. So we'll let him get that picked up, and hopefully this will suit his needs and do what he wants to do. And with that, guys, that's going to be a wrap. As always, thanks for watching. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Those thumbs up and comments are always greatly appreciated. Hit that bell icon up there to get notifications when new videos are posted. As always, a big, huge thank you to those who support the site financially through Patreon, PayPal, etc. There's links for that down in the description below if you want to help out. It really does make a difference and enables me to take the time to shoot these videos and bring them to you. So with that, guys, we are going to sign off. We're going to get out of here. We'll catch you on the next video. Again, as always, thanks for watching.